Have you ever thought that eating better foods or eating more whole foods or eating a certain way is the key for you to see the success that you want to see on the scale in terms of how your body looks and feels in its clothes and things like that? I also believed that for quite a long time. And the problem with that belief was that it was actually wrong. And there was much more to it than just what type of food that I was eating. And I would like to share that with you. So, my name is Brett Hamilton, and I help people who are busy, just like you, transform how their bodies look, move, and feel. And I try to do it in the most sustainable way possible so that it requires the least amount of input on your part so that you can sustain the change over a long period of time to guarantee that you get there and then stay there. So, what I want to chat about is that knowing how much you eat or how much you should be eating for your body is so much more important than what you're eating. And this is especially so at the beginning of this of the process of you trying to make a change to your body. And here's why. Because imagine it this way. If I have no basis for how much food that I actually consume on a daily basis, and I start making changes to what I am eating, a lot of times here's why people will initially feel successful in losing weight when they make changes to what they're eating is because they go from eating a lot of higher calorie, less nutrient dense foods to eating more whole foods. Okay. And all of a sudden, those whole foods just do not have as many calories in them. And so, by way of just making shifts to what they are eating, their body naturally will start to lose weight. Well, the problem with this is that will generally only take you so far because for a lot of people, they make so many changes to what they are eating that they get themselves into trouble after a while because they run out of willpower with eating those types of foods consistently. And then they get into the trap of falling back into those old habits because they miss the foods that they used to eat, but they've been deliberately restricting them in an effort to try to lose weight. Okay. So we get into this black and white mindset of, oh, I have to eat this way to lose weight, or I eat this way and I gain weight. There's nothing in between. They have not figured out a way to have the foods that they love and to have the foods that help them lose weight and have them at the same time and blend it together. Okay. So what I want to back up to is that it is so much more important to know how much food that you eat and how much food you need to be eating for your body first, because then you have a basis to then make the change from. Okay. So if we can figure out how much food that you're actually consuming and figure out how much food that you can consume and maintain your weight, if you know where your maintenance level is, that is the moneymaker right there. Knowing maintenance is the thing that is going to get you to where you want to be because you have a basis to make change from. Okay. So let's say I'm just going to use the 2000 calorie a day diet. If you know, like if I eat 2000 calories a day and I can maintain my weight with 2000 calories a day, from that point, all I need to do is make a small mathematical shift in my calorie intake and I will start losing body fat. I will start losing weight. Okay. So the nice thing about this though, is that if you can eat that amount of calories on a consistent basis, then all of a sudden you have a lot of structure to follow that will allow you to tinker with food choices within that structure. So let's say I'm eating a highly processed diet, okay, but I'm eating 2000 calories a day. Well, sometimes if I eat 2000 calories a day and I'm eating a lot of processed foods, I'm going to feel really hungry because that food just shoots through your system a lot faster than more whole foods that have a lot of nutrients in them. Okay. So if my goal is to make some shifts to my diet and I let's say I cut down to 1600 calories a day in order to lose weight, but I'm still eating those same highly processed foods, sure, you will lose weight, but you're probably going to be hungry all the time. But this is where making some purposeful shifts in the food choices will allow you to keep yourself feeling fuller for longer and make that process more sustainable while still choosing to have some of those foods that you really enjoy. Like maybe you like having a donut every day for breakfast. Well, you can still have that donut, but then you might make some other choices that are going to keep you full for longer, like having some protein with your donut, maybe some eggs or some egg whites, or maybe some vegetables with your meals too, to keep yourself feeling full. So those are just examples, but the overarching idea here is know how much food that you should be eating for yourself first to maintain your weight, and then make changes to your food choices to allow for better sustainability. Don't make changes to your food choices without knowing how much you should be eating, because the likelihood of you falling into a trap of restricting food in order to lose weight is so much greater when you don't know how much food you should actually be eating. And a lot of times people will eat less food than they could be eating when they don't know. And I don't want you to fall into that trap, because I did, and it sucked, and it kept me feeling really good for a long time, and it kept me from seeing the progress that I wanted to see for a long time. Okay, so more on that later. In the next video, I'm going to go over the pros and the cons of counting calories so that you can figure out that number, and I'm going to help you figure out if counting calories is something that is for you or not. Okay, so hey, my name is Brett Hamilton again. Thank you so much for watching. If this video was valuable to you, if you think the information contained in this video is helpful, share it with somebody that you think